Hi, I'm Sally Thiebaud, and welcome to the all-new Living Lighter Lunch and Learn show. I'll share with you some powerful stuff over the next 20 minutes. We're going to talk about how to guarantee your success. Can't wait to share this with you. Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you're watching this morning or today. Okay, I'm going to say this morning lots of times till I get used to this afternoon. How are you today? Thank you for popping on. We're going to be 20 minutes into this. And if you're having lunch today while you're watching, let me know what you're having. What are you having today? I didn't think it was kind of appropriate for me to be eating while I'm talking to you, but I hope that you have taken a break for lunch. And wherever you are, welcome to all our Melbourne people, by the way, and congratulations. I hope you are out today and doing something wonderful, having a cup of coffee somewhere or go to Kmart, something where you can get out, be with good friends. Alrighty, today I'm really excited to bring this show to you today because this is an area that I work a lot with, and it's helping people achieve success. And I want to share with you a study and also a survey that shows how people actually achieve their success. Let me just make sure we've got everything working. Best 20 minutes of my day. Hello, Jen. Thank you very much. Glad that you're here. All right, let's talk about how to guarantee your success. And as I said, this is what I love to work with because it's all about accountability and it's all about staying focused on what you want. And if there's anything in that 2020 has been about, it's about change, and it's about accessing that change, falling, being into the change and making that change work for you. So that's what we're talking about today. And first I want to just have a quick hello to us. Hey, from New Zealand, Janie, welcome. How exciting. Very lovely. Where are you from? Let me know where you're from, Janie. That's so nice that you're here. Thank you for being part of it today. All right, let's talk about how to guarantee your success. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, there's been this theory around, you may or may not have heard this, so just give me a thumbs up or a heart if you have heard this, that we have anywhere between 30,000 and 70 or 80,000 thoughts a day. And you know what? I've always thought, yeah, well, hang on a minute. There's 1,440 minutes a day. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. That means you're having a thought a second? And I thought, well, even though I kind of talked about it, I've actually never really acknowledged it. Now, interestingly enough, I came across a great study out of Canada, and it totally debunks that theory. What they're talking about is you don't have these gazillion, thousand, million thoughts a day. You have about 6,000 thoughts per day. But what you do is you actually build on each thought like a train. So you have a thought, and then you have another thought that's part of that thought, and then you have another part that's part of that thought. So it feels like a train. So for instance, have you ever done this? You go on, where are my glasses? What have I done with my glasses? Where are my glasses? And then you start to backtrack. Was I here? Like you're building on the thought, where are my glasses? Wait a minute, where are my glasses? And then you build on that thought, did I leave them here? You build on that thought, did I leave them there? And then you go, I'm an idiot. I'm always doing this. Another thought, right? So it's building on this train of thought to try and find your glasses. But what happens is that we get caught up in this when we can't do something. We have this thought. We go straight to the negative part of it. Now, what's interesting is 95% of the thoughts we have today are the same as yesterday, and 85% of those are negative. Let's go back to the glasses thing. Can't find your glasses, can't find your glasses. Or do I leave them here, do I leave them there? I'm always doing this. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Look at all the time I've wasted. And you're going down this big, long track of just these random thoughts that keep coming up in your mind. But they're not random. They're the ones that you keep having. And they're the words you keep telling yourself. Now, what's really interesting is that humans are wired to be keenly aware of negative circumstances and consequences because it helped our ancestors survive. So when we can't do something, we can't achieve something, can't find something, what we do is we then turn that into the negative. That negative that you're telling, I do this all the time, I can't do this, is a thought that keeps going round and round in a circle. It's because you see your brain doesn't like change. So I'm going to relate this to habits. So if you've really struggled with implementing a new habit, whatever it is, stopping procrastination, stopping spending so much time on social media, not eating sugary foods, what else? Getting up early and going for a walk. If you're having trouble implementing those new habits and you don't do it, what's the thought process that happens after that? The same thought process you have when you can't find your glasses, right? See, I always do this. This is just the way it is. It's just I am. So you're trying to implement new habits, but you're building on that train of thought. Okay, I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and go for a walk. So I'm going to set my alarm at 5 o'clock. Oh, but hang on a minute. I need to go to bed at 10. Oh, but hang on. I still need to finish up this or finish up that or catch the last TV show. Oh, I'm not going to get to bed until 11 o'clock. The alarm goes off and you go, I'm too tired. See, I always do that. I can never start a habit. It's this train of thought, and it's the last things on the train of thought that stop you doing it. Now, I just wanted to share this. Let me just hop on and say, oh, hey, Janie, where are you from? Wanganui, North Island. Beautiful. Lovely. I've been to New Zealand a couple of times. Such a beautiful part of the world. Hey, Elle, lovely to have you here. Right, let's go to, I want to share something with you. If I can get it up. Where is it? Right, here we go. You see, our thoughts are the king, but what we believe about ourselves are the queen. And she rules the house. So whatever you deeply believe about yourself, when you want to implement a new habit, based on that train I was talking about, and the 95% of the same thoughts you had yesterday and 85% of the negative, when you want to create a change, the thought process is there, but the beliefs about yourself totally override it. So that's the struggle that most people have with changing beliefs, is not the desire, but the beliefs that sit underneath it. And the trouble is with the beliefs, they actually operate 200 times faster. So the beliefs sit in the limbic system of the brain, the amygdala, hippocampus, and hypothalamus form the emotional center of the brain. That's the stuff that's wired to all those beliefs that we have. So you make a thought process. Okay, think of king. You're making a thought. The king's the thought. But you have a negative thought about yourself, belief about yourself, that's just 200 times faster, and that stops you from making that change. Now, what's really interesting is that our brain is actually addicted a little bit to cortisol. Why? Because back in the claw and fang jungle days, as I mentioned just before, those negative thoughts actually kept us safe. You are heightenedly aware of something negative. And I've often said to my clients, sometimes we are addicted to the drama of the negative thought. It's our brain kind of is addicted to it. And if you want to have a peaceful thought, it's almost like, oh, I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this. I'm not sure where I'm heading with this. It's sometimes can be uncomfortable. Now, I would think that the 2020 award for the most used hormone is cortisol. When you have a negative thought, when you feel that you are in fear of some description, you want to change, the brain goes, whoa, wait a minute, can I really do that? Impacts of cortisol, impacts on adrenaline, and you have the adrenaline pumping, the flight, fight, and freeze response, and that stops you from moving forward. So all of that is often dictated by limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves. So you have a thought, but you've got that train that sits there. So you have a thought, you want to change something, you're gonna plan to do it, and you miss a day, and then suddenly you go down that hole, the cabooses link up in the train. So how do you change it? Obviously through EFT. That's number one reason how we change it is through EFT. But I wanted to share with you this study that came from the American Society of Training and Development, which can help understand why it can be so difficult to change. So if you've set an intention to do something, and that intention requires you to do something different, think differently. You're fighting against that emotional, the queen, right? Because she's telling you all the reasons why you can't, because we have 95% of the thoughts we had yesterday, 85% of those are negative. So we'll naturally, because our brain's wired to have cortisol, likes the cortisol, keeps us aware of things, we will naturally head to that negative thought. The key is to stop it at that point. Stop it. It's like being consciously aware of that thought and what's the trigger. So I shared a story this morning. Did a presentation this morning on this topic, and I was sharing a conversation how it can easily happen when you're triggered. You stop thinking rationally and you go back to an old pattern. A number of months ago, I was working on a landing page big landing page that I wanted for a program we were putting together. I spent all day working on it, all day, from about 9 o'clock till about 4:45. So Jerry came home and said, "Can you have a look at this landing page? Can you check this out for me? I'm feeling proud of myself." I said, "I'll go get a couple of glasses of wine." So he sits down at his desk, and I go get the wine, and I come back, and he's finished checking it. And I said, so thinking to myself, pat on the back, done really well. I said, what do you think? He said, "Not really good with full stops, are you?" And of course, I just go, right, round. Not, excuse me, what are you talking about? Now, lucky I put the wine down on the desk at that point because I might have tipped it over his head. And I stormed out, sat down. I'm going, "Okay, Miss Life Coach, why are you triggered here? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" And the reason I was triggered is it took me back to school when I was chastised for not, I used to be very good. We had English expression and English literature, and I was very good at English grammar, I think it was. I was very good at one of them, creative writing, but I wasn't good at the punctuation. So when he said that, I just exploded, right? The 200 times faster that goes to that old story I'm telling myself that I'm actually not really good, because that was a story I got told when I was at school. You're not good at punctuation. And that was the response. Now, the challenge is to know that that's what the response is. It's not about the argument we were about to have. It took me to go away and have a little think about it and then come back. But I had to get rid of the emotional response. And that's where EFT comes in. It's so powerful. So let's get back to this survey, because I want to share with you this really interesting. If you want to create change, you have 10% probability of completing your goal if you actually have an idea. That's a good thing. Actually have something that you're aiming for. So what do you want? I'm always saying to my clients, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Over and over again. So have a clear idea of what you want. Number 2, 25% probability of your completing your goal if you consciously decide you will do it. So it's okay to have all these, wonderful vision boards and they're all pretty, but you actually have to make that decision that you're actually going to do it. That's 25%. 40% of probability of completing your goal if you decide when you're going to do it. So if you want to, lose weight and you decide you're going to go for a walk every morning, what time are you going to work? And then you've got to work backwards. Okay, so when are you going to do it? Make that decision. 50% probability of completing a goal if you plan how to do it. And this is where I love the concept of habit stacking. So you, okay, I'm going to go for a walk in the morning. I'm going to go at 6 o'clock in the morning. How am I going to do this? I'm going to put my shoes at the door. I'm going to make sure I set the alarm. I'm going to go to bed earlier at night. I'm going to challenge myself not to switch off the alarm. Let's hit the snooze button. So that was a 50% probability of completing your goal. This was a survey of about 350,000 people, by the way. Probably if you plan how to do it, and I know so many people who say they want something, they're going to do something, but they don't have a plan of action. 65% probability of completing your goal if you commit to somebody to do it. Okay, accountability buddy. Okay, I'm committing to this. I'm going, that's what you need a coach for, accountability coach, whatever. And then 95% probability of completing your goal if you have a specific accountability appointment with a person you've committed to. 95%. That was extraordinary. I found that quite extraordinary, that survey. Because if you commit to somebody, if you committed to showing up every week and you've invested in somebody to do that, and they'll call you on your, you know what, bullshit. Apparently I'm a shit shifter. Just apparently. I don't know if you're allowed to say that living online, but apparently that's what I am. So 95% of probability of completing your goal if you have a specific accountability point with a person. Right, so there's a twofold approach that's happening here. One, you've got to get rid of the limiting beliefs, the story you're telling yourself that's running in that emotional brain. That's the caboose that hangs onto the train of thought, right? I didn't do that, so I'm an idiot. I'll never do anything. You've got to commit to working on that to change that structure in your mind, and then commit to showing up. Critical when it comes to achieving what you want and creating success. I thought that was an extraordinary, and I find that too. I find when I'm working with clients, when we work together, it really does help them commit to a goal. And just want to let you know about the accountability program that I have for those who, if you want to have a goal and you're struggling with it, I really want to lose weight before Christmas, or I really want to, break this procrastination habit, or I really want to make more money in my business, then have a chat, and we can see if and how it works for you. Jen, I love that you're normal. I know, right, Jen? It's funny because when I went, and I'm thinking, and I'm storming down the hallway, sit down and go, okay, Miss Life Coach, you teach people what to do, so how about you do it yourself? All right, we've got 2 minutes left, and this is what I want to do. I want to do a quick EFT tapping. Also letting you know that there is up on my YouTube channel, a tapping on how to stick to a new habit. It's going up, I think, at 2:00 on my YouTube. You'll see it on the Facebook page. But I've got this thing, this passion at the moment. When I realize there's only 9 weeks left of the year, 9 weeks left of 2020. And, as I often say to people now, like, if you're not going to change, when are you going to do it? We've been through the most extraordinary of years. And I just think, what? I don't know what 2021 is going to look like. But if you can't just achieve a few things in your life right now, then when? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So have a click on that link. Let me know if you want someone to help you clear those limiting beliefs, get rid of those last two carriages, so they're not hanging on to that train of thought that happens for you. I'm going to do a quick tapping to finish with, because I want to finish right on time. I know your time is precious during the day. I want you to think of something at the moment that you're really being challenged by. A belief, a thought, a habit that you want to implement, and you're really struggling with it. So I just want you to think about that for a minute and where you feel it. I want you to, while we're doing the tapping, to keep a vision in your mind of what it will feel like if you achieve this. Okay, here we go. Even though I have this vision in my mind I really want to achieve this, but I feel myself standing in the way. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though sometimes I find it really hard to create that change I know I need. I'm open to figuring it out. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I know what I want to achieve, but there's this belief standing in the way. And it keeps happening over and over again. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. This belief's just standing in the way, masking it as an excuse. This belief standing in my way. I can come up with all the excuses in the world, but there's this belief there about who I am. I keep coming up with all the excuses in the world. I'm the master of procrastination. I keep coming up with all the excuses in the world. Just take a deep breath and let it go. All right, just any thoughts coming up for you then about what's blocking you? Let's quickly do a reframe. Remember, with EFT, this is just, scraping the surface. If you want to really shift it, you really need to work on those past memories, those past beliefs. So we're going to go to a reframe. I'm going to assume that your level dropped a little bit, even though I know there's this limiting belief there. I choose to be open to figuring it out. Even though I really want to achieve this goal. So I'm open to releasing that belief that's holding me back. Even though I find myself making excuses, I know it's just a limiting belief. I choose to change it. Oops. I choose to be open to understanding this belief. I choose to change it. It's just a belief. I really want to achieve this. I'm willing to let go of the negativity. I'm willing to reinstall a new belief. I choose to move towards this goal. I choose to make this happen. Take a deep breath and let it go. You can go into that power pose you want, really powerful. Just hold that space. What's the belief? Writing down as you're doing this, or running through this in your mind of what are these beliefs that I've got that are holding me back? What is it? Just a belief. All right. How'd you go? Let me know how you went. Thank you for all of you who were on today. Janie, welcome from New Zealand. I hope the weather is lovely there. Jen and Elle, so great to have you here, and everybody else who was on today. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on the Living Lighter Lunch and Learn show. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.